out in front of this stuff and keep informed. But I'm curious about over the years, if you've taken on different topics, has anything surprised you in terms of how people have responded, or a particular tweet has garnered maybe more attention than you would have thought it would?
I have a somewhat famous tweet that I tweeted on Christmas of like 2019, and it went viral for all the wrong reasons. Something to the effect of, if you don't work hard in nights and weekends in your 20s, you're not going to have a successful career. Sorry. And of course, the internet blew up, and articles were written, and there was a lot of gnashing of teeth and a lot of hysteria about how terrible that sentiment was. And I think it's a great tweet because everybody kind of reads into it exactly what they want to, right? The critics hate it, and then the people that recognize the kernel of truth, which is you have to work hard before you can work smart. I think the worst piece of advice that any young person can get after follow your passion is work smart, not hard. Because the reality is almost no one in their 20s knows how to work smart. So there's no substitute for time. And if you want to space that out into 40-hour weeks over the entirety of your 20s, that's totally fine. But if someone is working 60 hours a week, then by definition, they're going to be 50% ahead of you by the time they hit the age of 30. Other things equal, right? And that's not to say that you shouldn't have family or that you shouldn't, maintain your kind of social relationships or friendships or anything. But I think the trick is to the extent that you can kind of own your own 60 hours per week instead of being on someone else's clock. It's a hell of a lot easier to do that in some cases than it is to even work 40 for someone else. So this is like the classic quip on entrepreneurship, where I quit my 9 to 5 so I could work 9 to 9, or some equivalent of that, right? And there's a lot of truth to it, but being able to kind of control, what you're working on, the pace that you're kind of developing, and kind of set your own curriculum and course. I think I would say if you have one decision that you can make in your 20s, it's to just really kind of push yourself and figure out where your limits are, because that'll, even if you hate the first couple of years of your career, it'll probably give you some perspective. It'll give you some experience that otherwise you're just never going to get. And it's good to have the experience of hating something because it's too many hours or it's too grueling and you're kind of losing your mind. I'm not saying that people should push themselves to the breaking point, but I hated the first couple of years out of school because I was working too many hours, and I knew that I didn't want to be in that line of finance. And looking back, being in that accelerated curriculum basically was a table setter for the rest of my career, and gave me a lot of foundational skills, even though it was painful. It was like a hard, grueling workout. You knew you could survive it. You got through the other side, all kinds of optionality, and then kind of control your own destiny after that. So look, not everybody wants to do that, and I think that's fine. But I think it is a really dangerous lie that people can tell young workers that you don't need to outwork your competition. And I think we've gotten soft, and I like it when people have a little bit of an edge, a little bit of like a motor to them, and understand that you work hard in your 20s, you set yourself up for your 30s, and hopefully retire early, or you get lucky by betting on DeFi. So I figured I'd get that off my chest since that comes up every once in a while, and I think it's so obvious and intuitive and non-controversial, and unfortunately some of the people that are drawn to work with me feel the same and still have a pretty good balance.